you to, if you want them, you can get them. Just apply. So that takes me to my next question. If you apply, what is the number one thing that makes your application stand out? I've had you say about talk about papers, talk about innovations. You know, with innovation comes presentation. Like, we don't want to just apply like you guys did. We want to stand out when we apply. So, what is one thing that will make me to stand out and get these opportunities when I do apply? And please just take 1 minute so that we can kind of wind up before, yeah. We can start with Frida.
Okay, how to make your application stand out? First, you need to realize it's not all about schoolwork. You can have your schoolwork, yes, but what have you done beyond school? What have you done, like the conferences you've attended? Yeah, you attended a conference, yes, but what did you do? Were you like volunteering? Did you organize this? The small things that you've done, as much as you don't have any experience, but they're these small things you've done. You're in school, you are a leader. Yes, you're a leader, but what did you do? How did you impact people? What did you come up with? So those are the things that I think you need to strive to put into your CV. If you have publications, yes, add them into your CV. What are you trying to solve? What was the idea behind it? That's what people want to see. They want to see initiative, because when you apply, let's say even for a job right now, no one expects you to have experience, but they expect to see someone who has initiative, someone who has driven themselves, someone who has gone out there, done some few things here and there. They don't have to like make sense. They don't have to also um be like award winning, but you did something. You went there and you put your best foot forward. So that's how you actually make your CV to stand out. Also, making your CV standing out is also about the structure. What are you using to? How are you putting your CV? Also, I'm talking about applications, yes. Also, in terms of CV, what kind of format are you using uh, when applying for these things? Yeah, and yeah, I think those are like the basic, or the things that mostly make your application standard. Also, in terms of paper, you really need to look at the criteria. You have to check all the criteria that they. If they tell you 6 pages, please do 6 pages. If they tell you use IEEE format, please use IEEE format, because that's what they are looking for. Just give them what they make their work easy. Give them what they're looking for. If they ask you to write about this sector, please write about that sector. Be straight to the point, and then send out to people. Let them read your paper. Don't be scared. Let them read. Let them correct you. Yeah, and that's how you actually make your application standard. Like, this is from my experience. Yeah.
Yeah, feedback. Always seek feedback because, yeah, it might save you from a lot. We can head over to Beth, then Jean, then Victoria.
Yeah. So what makes your application stand out? Um, it's more of now echoing because I think Frida has said most of it. The same thing. The little things you do really that make you stand out. The little things you do are the ones that make you stand out. So, for example, if it is about projects, papers, most of the criteria is usually standard in most of the places that you go, because whatever they're checking are things like sustainability, they're checking things like feasibility, they're checking things like the technology you're using, the relevance of your solution, whatever you're building. The criteria mostly usually the criteria usually mostly generally the same, apart from maybe very specific places where you find very specific things that you need to check for. So those are the things that you just need to check for. Make sure that you're just relevant, whatever you're doing is sustainable, it's feasible. I think it will always win wherever you will go, whether it's within IEEE, whether it's wherever. And then Um, if you are in IEEE, as I said, it is best for you to be in a place where you're volunteering. If you're not a leader, there are all these conferences that usually happen. For example, in Kenya, there are so many, some of them happen every year. So if you miss an opportunity this year, you can still apply another one or wait for next year. And something that I've learned also as someone who is not a student now, the opportunities, most of these opportunities are usually for students. So like the Power Africa conference, one of the criteria they had for submitting a paper, for example, was that you have to be you have to be a student in a recognized institution. So don't say that you are a student now, you have projects to do, you have classwork to do, that now you do not have time to do the things that maybe those things that can make you stand out, those things that can help you build your portfolio. The most of those opportunities are available while you're a student, and there's so much, there's time and there's everything. You have all the resources available to make anything work. So grab the opportunities because they're there. The way Jean is saying, even outside IEEE, like the ones she's sharing, the ones she shared, even Victoria, the opportunities that she got, just make use of them. Yeah, I think that is what I would say. Yeah.
So basically, relevance. Her secret sauce is relevance. At be solving something that is of relevant. We can have it's Jean then Victoria, right? Yeah.
So how do you make your application stand out? This I will quote from Camilino. In the applications I have made, mine have not necessarily been me submitting papers. It has been me submitting motivation letters. And one thing I learned from Camilino is that to make your application stand out, you need to share your story in a way that it's not generic. Like someone cannot just pick your story and make it theirs. Like your story is so unique to the point where they're like, yeah, this chick she knows what she's talking about. Yeah, I think that's one thing I could talk about. Because in situations where you need to submit motivation letters, basically convincing them why should they pick you. I know this sounds like you want to be a pick me, sure, but point is how do you convince them that you deserve that opportunity? So another thing that I would talk about is the projects you do. Before I went for that attachment in that year, in secondary, I used to do projects and I would shut up about them. So I would not even document them. I would not even record any videos. Like I would not do anything to publicize them. But then I think when I got into Kamilimu and I saw and we taught how to do documentation. Yes, please join Kamilimu. So yeah, we taught how to do documentation and on the projects you're doing, on the projects you're working on. I think that really made me realize that I need to be able to make my GitHub, my if it's Medium, wherever you are sharing your stories, wherever you're sharing your project ideas, whether it's LinkedIn, make them public, learn in public, be seen, so that when you're applying to these opportunities, like let me give an example of the ISAC one, and I was writing the motivation letter, or even a more recent one, though this one happening in South Africa this year. It's called BDAS, Big Data Africa School. So what I wanted you to do is upload a whole bunch of slides talking about the projects you've worked on. And the best thing I did there was just have a video. I had a video on the project I worked, the robotic arm one. And I would see how I'm not Siwachochi. It's true. I worked on this thing. You can actually see these are wires. This is it moving. You can actually, it's there. So documentation. When you're writing, two things, motivation letters, don't give generic stories. Number two, projects, really document them well. Like whether it's videos, whether it's anything, just make sure it's clear and someone can understand what you're talking about. Thank you.
And now let's have Victoria closing this question.
Oh, I don't know what to say. I feel like everything has been said. y'all have covered all the key points. But maybe what I can add is as Jean has said, the why. You need to show why are you doing this, why are you applying. It's in a world now, we live in a world where it's quite easy for someone to see a job posting and they apply for it directly because they have AI. So you just paste your CV, paste the opportunity, and boom, you have an output. So you need to, how do you make your application stand out? Avoid those buzzwords. You need to have that human aspect. You need to tell your story, as Jean has said. I'm not saying that you go to Claude or GPT or what and say, please humanize this for me. I'm saying you give it that touch, that human touch. Um, yeah, I think that's just what I wouldn't want to repeat anything else, but yeah, tell that story, tell your story.
Yeah, don't be generic. Don't say I love sports. Which sports now? You can't
Yeah,
love all sports. So there's how AI is generic, and so you really have, even if you're using AI, because we're in the era, and me, but I'm not against AI. We should actually be embracing it, but now you need to use it smartly. You need to at least look at your work after you have used AI and try to make it more specific. Just the last question, I think, because we're out of time, and then I give the floor to guys to ask a question.